Let's turn now to a tale of two takes on the Green New Deal. On the one side, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the representative who not only is putting forward this legislation, but also in conjunction with the Sunrise Movement, helped to make it a thing that we were talking about at the national level, perhaps for the first time. On the other side, you have Nancy Pelosi, obviously one of the most powerful politicians in the country, who will be very important for the future of the Green New Deal, for it to have a future. And they have very different ways of talking about this policy, unfortunately. So first, let's turn to AOC. She continues to and has described the Green New Deal as a World War II style mobilization of our economy. Now, the right has attacked that at various points, saying, oh, she thinks it's World War II, when that's not at all what she's saying. They attempt to make her seem ignorant or ahistorical, but what she is saying is, in the exact same way that we needed government and society to come together and help reshape the economy, to change up its priorities, its output, all of that, to accomplish a goal, we can do that here too. And this time we don't even have to fight Nazis, so it should be a little bit easier. So I like that she pitches it that way. To support the legislation, she's also said, we've tried their approach for 40 years, sort of mild change, little bits of regulations on the sides. We tried to let the private sector take care of it, except there's a little thing in economics called externalities. A corporation can dump pollution in the river and they don't have to pay for it. That's something we come back to very often. You emit the carbon, maybe somebody gets some sort of respiratory illness later on, you're not paying for that. That's the externality to the coal industry, for instance, or whatever. So she's acknowledging that as well. And furthermore, she says taxpayers have to pay for cleaning up our air, cleaning up the water, and saving the planet. We've already been paying the costs, except we've not been getting any of the benefit. Government is not just for cleaning up other people's mess. And this is another way that we implicitly subsidize some of the most polluting industries in the history of our species. So they're going to attempt to attack her as ignorant, and they're going to find that that is going to be difficult to do because she understands the economic realities, the historic realities that not only underlie this legislation, but make it as necessary as it is. On the other side, we match AOC's knowledge of the situation to best case scenario, feigned ignorance from the side of Nancy Pelosi. So she was interviewed by Politico recently, and she talked about the new select climate committee that she's setting up, and the topic of the Green New Deal came up. And she said on Wednesday that the panel would not be tasked with writing a specific bill and brushed off the idea of the Green New Deal as a, quote, suggestion. Quote, it will be one of several or maybe many suggestions that we receive. The Green Dream, or whatever they call it, nobody knows what it is, but they're for it, right? And so she's responding there to the fact that basically all of the highest profile Democrats pursuing the presidency in this cycle support it. And she mockingly refers to it as the Green Dream, or whatever they call it. Now, we could just take her at her word and assume that she doesn't know what it's actually called. But I think that she is far too intelligent, far too aware of what's going on politically around the country to actually do that. This is something that has been in the news virtually every day for at least 2 months now, that is supported by, again, senators and representatives from her party. The idea that, literally like in a clip we played of Jesse Waters a few days ago, that she wouldn't know what it's called, that's more insulting than calling her a liar in this case. And so I think that she is a liar. I think she is lying that she doesn't know what it is in an attempt to condescend to the politicians who are currently supporting it. And obviously the highest profile of those is AOC, a target of Nancy Pelosi's ire a number of times over the course of the past year. The idea that she doesn't know what it's called, and also the fact that this bill, by the way, came out today, the same day as her interview. She wasn't aware of it. She hasn't seen it. The fact that dozens and dozens of Democrats have signed on to it after seeing and reviewing and consulting on the creation of it. The idea that Nancy Pelosi hasn't seen this, that is perhaps the most insulting thing of all. So she wants this reputation as being a continued environmentalist, someone who takes climate change seriously. She doesn't even take the label of one of the proposals seriously. And so on this topic, I don't think we can take her seriously. And that is unfortunate because of course she controls the body that's going to be debating this legislation. Now I hope that whether she supports it or not, the huge massive support, not just from the politicians, but from the population at large. This is something that is not just, has some support from the left, as some of the articles announcing the introduction of the Green New Deal have implied, but that is supported by an overwhelming majority of Democrats. It's supported by the majority of Republicans as well. if after all of that, after we've won over the people, after we've won over the conservatives, if eventually Nancy Pelosi needs to get in line, I think that in the end she will end up doing that because this is just too popular to stand against for much longer. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.